Harper Perennial and HarperAudio present The Month of Borrowed Dreams, a novel by Felicity Hayes-Mccoy. Performed by Marcella Riordan.
Prologue. From her seat to one side, Hanna could see in two directions. To her right, the front row of faces was tilted upwards, visible in a spill of steely grey light. To her left, the boy walked into silver water. The sound of it moving against his legs could be heard above the music, which pulled and tugged like the sluggish waves that rolled onto the beach. A camera on a tripod stood on the sand, and out to sea a distant ship was waiting, half lost in a shimmering heat haze. The sun burned in the sky. The boy was as slender as a sally-rod, or as gaunt as a famine victim. When the waves reached the tops of his thighs, he turned and looked back. You couldn't see his face. He was only a figure washed with shining light, looking back from a distance, inviting the watcher to follow him. As the music rose and fell like the sea, the words of a folk song hung in Hannah's mind. I wish I was on yonder hill, 'tis there I'd sit and cry my fill, and every tear would turn a mill. Her eyes flicked right towards the audience. Each face had the same rapt expression and wide eyes. On the screen, the boy bent one arm and put his hand on his hip. Standing in profile, he slowly raised the other arm and held it out, a dark smudge against the haze. Then, curling his fingers, he cupped the burning eye of the distant sun. The classical music swelled, then ebbed like dragging shingle. I wish in vain, I wish I had my heart again, and vainly think I'd not complain. Back on the beach, the watching man slumped sideways. Tugged by a restless wind, figures from earlier scenes came and went about his lifeless body. Then the yearning music took over, and the film came to an end. The screen went black as a long list of names scrolled upwards. Actors, cameramen and assistants, dressers and makeup artists. People who had told the story from all its different angles, in light and paint and movement, in fabric, music and sound. In the spaces that were filled, and those that had been deliberately left empty. In what was spoken, and all that remained unsaid. When Connor flicked a switch and the lights came on, the reading room and the library was totally still. Then someone coughed, and people began to turn in their seats or reach into handbags. You could hear phones being switched on, and murmured conversation, and the inevitable sounds of ripped foil and crumpled paper as Anne Flood from the pharmacy opened a double chunky Kit Kat. Chapter 1. At first, Hanna Casey's idea for a monthly film club in Lissbeg Library hadn't worked. She'd decided that the members would see a film at one meeting and discuss the book it was based on at the next, having borrowed it from the library in the weeks between. And as it turned out, plenty of people were happy to come to the films. The club was a great idea altogether, they told her, the way you could save yourself the cost of something like Netflix. Also, they loved the tea and biscuits. But as time went on, there was a lot of muttering about being too busy to read and suggestions that, compared to a film, a book could be fierce heavy going. After a while, a good many people stopped coming. So Hanna put up a notice. Due to popular demand, it said, a film would now be screened at each meeting, not every second one. Across the bottom, in smaller writing, members were informed that meetings could begin with a brief discussion of the film shown the previous month. Connor, her library assistant, was scathing. God, you'd think they'd manage to
Sample complete. Ready to continue?